Hello friends, welcome to The Point. So let's continue our discussion on education. So we know how education plays a crucial role in our life. So we also know that this is a topic from India Yearbook. Come on guys, let's continue our discussion. राष्ट्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा अभियान. So this राष्ट्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा अभियान, it was launched in the year 2009 to enhance access to secondary education and to improve its quality. The scheme, it envisages enhancing the enrollment at the secondary stage by providing a secondary school with a reasonable distance of habitation, that is to ensure gross enrollment ratio of 100% and universal retention by 2020. And some of the significant initiative under this Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan is Shala Siddhi. First comes Shala Siddhi. So School Standards and Evaluation Framework and its web portal, it were launched in 2015. So it is a comprehensive instrument of school evaluation leading to school improvement. This is developed by National University of Education Planning and Administration. So it aims to enable schools to evaluate their performance in a more focused and strategic manner, and it facilitates them to make a professional judgments for improvement. Next is Shala Darpan. Shala Darpan, it covers all 1099 Kendra Vidyalayas that was launched in June 2015, and the objective of this project, it is to provide services that is based on school management system to students, parents and the communities. Next is GIS mapping. So this is to ensure universal access to schools, including secondary schools, with a reasonable distance of any habitation without any discrimination. And all states has conducted GIS mapping, and they are shared geographical coordinates of school with the NIC except Jammu and Kashmir. National Achievement Survey for Class 10th. So this was undertaken for the first time by the Ministry of Human Resource and Development. So the survey, it investigates students' achievement in 5 subjects, that is English, Mathematics, Social Science, Science and Modern Indian Languages. Next is Kala Utsav. So this is an initiative of Ministry of Human Resource and Development to promote arts like music, theatre, dance, visual arts and crafts and so on, to promote the arts in education by nurturing and showcasing the artistic talent of school students at a secondary stage in the country. So it is also a platform to bring arts to the center stage in an inclusive environment. So next comes Samagra Shiksha. So the Department of School Education and Literacy, which was launched an integrated scheme for school education, that is Samagra Shiksha, from 2018 to 2018-19. So it envisages school as a continuum from preschool, primary, upper primary, secondary to senior secondary levels. So preferences, it is to be given to educationally backward blocks and a special focus on certain district and border areas and aspirational districts, that is identified, which is identified by Niti Aayog. So allocation of uniforms has been enhanced from Rs 150 or 250 or 250 to 400 per child per annum. Next is National Achievement Survey, NAS. So it has assessed the learning levels of the students in classes 3, 5, 8 and 10. The post NAS, that is the National Achievement Survey Interventions 2018-19, it were initiated to reach out to all the districts in different states. Like the learning gaps identified, it were used to provide feedback to the districts. Next is e-Pathshala. So NCERT books, they are available free in a digital version on the e-Pathshala app. Next, Pariksha Pe Charcha. So Prime Minister Interaction Program with school and college students, that is Pariksha Pe Charcha, it was held in the year 2018. So it was a town hall event. Which was unique in itself, and it was planned for the first time, where the Prime Minister was interacting in live with the school and college students through a web interaction across the country. So written questions were invited from the students for program on My Government platform. Occasionalization of secondary and higher secondary education. So this is also a centrally sponsored scheme that was revised in the year 2014 to align it with National Skills Qualification Framework, into which National Occasional Educational Qualification Framework. So it has been assimilated to NVEQF, that is National Occasional Education Qualification Framework. So this scheme, it has been subsumed under integrated Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. The revised scheme, while introducing this occasional education at secondary level, it seeks to integrate occasional education with general education and provide horizontal and vertical mobility to the students. So next is construction and running of girls' hostel. So this construction and running of a girls' hostel, it is also a centrally sponsored scheme for girl student of secondary and higher education schools, which was launched in 2008 to 9, and it is being implemented from 2009 to 10, which replaces the earlier NGO driven scheme. So the main objective of the hostel component of RMSA is to improve access and to retain the girl child in secondary and higher classes, that is from 9th to 12th. The girl students in the age group of 14 to 18 years, those who are studying in the classes from 9th to 12th, and those who belong to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, OBC and minority communities and BPL families, they form the target group of the scheme. Inclusive Education for Disabled at Secondary Stage, IEDSS. So this was launched in 2009 to 10, which replaces the earlier scheme of Integrated Education for Disabled Children, that is IEDC. And this scheme, it aims to enable all students with disabilities after completing 8 years of elementary schooling to pursue further 4 years of secondary schooling. So the scheme covers all the children passing out of elementary school and studying at secondary stage in government, local body and government aided schools with one or more disabilities. They are defined under the Person with Disabilities Act 1995 and the National Trust Act 1999. There are also a centrally sponsored scheme for teachers' education. That is strengthening teacher education. It is a centrally sponsored scheme which was initiated in 1987 according to the formulation of National Policy Education 1986. The scheme it was revised in the 12th 5-year plan. So this aims to establish DIETs in all the districts that is created up to 2011. This strengthens existing colleges of teachers education and it upgrades their skills and the existing government secondary teacher education institutions in colleges of teachers education. Next, quality in teacher education. So it creates a separate cadre, that is 17 states or union territories. It have created a separate cadre for teachers educators under the teachers education scheme, and states have also been asked to strengthen the cadre of teachers educators in their respective states. So we can see many arrangements or many developments have been made in the field of education. So by this we can know how education is important to one's life. So talking about the infrastructure development of minority institutes, this scheme, it will facilitate the education of minorities by strengthening school infrastructure in minority institutions. So under the scheme, it covers the entire country. It is National Means Cum Merit Scholarship Scheme. So this is a centrally sponsored scheme launched in the year 2008 to award scholarships to meritorious students of economically weaker sections to arrest their dropout at class 8th and encourage them to continue study at secondary and higher secondary stage up to class 9th. And there is a quota of scholarship for different states and union territories. National Scheme of Incentives to Girls. This is also a centrally sponsored scheme of incentives to girl children for secondary education, and this was launched in 2008 to establish an enabling environment to reduce the dropouts, and to promote enrollment of girl children belonging mainly to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe communities in secondary schools. Implementation of direct benefit transfer. So two scholarship schemes of the Department of School Education and Literacy, like National Means Cum Merit Scholarship Scheme and National Scheme of Incentives to Girls for Secondary Education are covered under it. A national scholarship portal, it has been made for operational for online submission of proposals, list of beneficiaries by the state governments for MMSS and NSI GSC. Talking about adult education, at the time of independence, 86% of India's population, it was illiterate. And as such, the main focus of adult education has been on its very bottom tier, that is imparting of basic literacy. For the accomplishment of this objective, a series of programs were introduced since from the first plan. When the planning was made initially, from then on, from the first 5-year plan itself, there was an schemes or several programs were introduced for the purpose of education in our country. National Award to Teachers. So this was instituted in 1958. The National Award to Teachers, it is given away by the President of India on September 5th, that is on Teachers' Day, and this award is given every year to give public recognition to meritorious teachers, those who are working in primary, middle and secondary schools. And from the award year 2001, special awards have been instituted for teachers promoting inclusive education in schools and education for children with disabilities in regular schools. Next is Kendra Vidyalaya Sangathan. So the schemes of Kendra Vidyalaya schools, which is also called as central schools, it was approved in 1962 to provide uninterrupted education to the wards of transferable central government employees. Consequently, Central Schools Organization, it was started as a unit of the Ministry of Education, now which is known as Ministry of Human Resource Development, and this was registered as a society under the Societies Registration Act 1965. The primary aim of this Sangathan is to provide, establish, endow, maintain, control and to manage the central schools which is located all over India and abroad. Next is Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas. The national policy on education. 1986. It envisaged setting up of residential Navodaya schools to provide excellence coupled with equity and social justice. This Navodaya Vidyalayas Samiti, it was registered as a society under the Society Registration Act 1980 to establish Navodaya Vidyalayas to provide a good quality and modern education. So we all have heard about NCERT, that is National Council of Educational Research and Training. So it provides an academic and technical support for qualitative improvement of school education. The NCERT, it was established in 1961 as an apex national body to lead qualitative changes in school education. National Bal Bhavan. So it was established in the year 1956 and it is an autonomous institution that is funded by the Ministry of Human Resource Development. So the aim of this National Bal Bhavan is to enhance the creative potential of children by building them various activities, opportunities and common platforms to interact, experiment and create and perform according to their age, aptitude and ability. Next comes Central Board of Secondary Education. It is a board of education for public and private school under the Union Government. This Central Board of Secondary Education has asked all the schools affiliated to follow only the NCERT curriculum. National Institutes of Open Schooling. In short, it is called as NIOS or NIOS. So, it is an open school to cater to the needs of a heterogeneous groups of learners up to pre-degree level. Midday Meal Scheme. So, it covers children of classes 1 to 8th classes studying in government-aided schools and special training centers supported under Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. It is the largest school feeding program in the world and apart from promoting access and retention, it has also contributed to social and gender equality. Talking about social audit. Social audit means the process in which people collectively monitor and evaluate the planning and implementation of a program or scheme. The social audit was conducted by Society for Social Audit, Accountability and Transparency in 2 districts, that is Khammam and Chittoor of undivided Andhra Pradesh during 2012 to 2013. So finally, we are talking about National Institutional Ranking Framework. So this National Institutional Ranking Framework for educational institution, it was launched to meet a felt need for a framework that would enable parents, students, teachers, educational institutions and other stakeholders to rank institutions based on a set of objective parameters and a transparent process. So this, it was developed by a team of experts in education and heads of the institution. The portal and the framework is presently available for engineering and management institutions also. So like this, many schemes and many programs were done by the government to improve the education system in our country. So these are the important schemes or programs by the government that everyone, each and everyone should have an awareness. So apart from this, there are also many simple programs or many small programs are also there, out of which this is a selected and picked up topics which are very important to us. Okay, see you all in the next session with some other interesting topic. Thank you.